Out of all these aspects, sales, managing, teamwork, team building,
Yeah.
what would you say is your most enjoyable and not enjoyable part? Like, what do you enjoy the most doing, and what do you don't enjoy at all? You're like, maybe someone else can do that, but you have to do it anyway.
I think it's funny. I think the answer is actually it's related to both actually.
Okay.
I think enjoyable is like when someone, like I said, develops such a mindset to, what you're thinking, like they got to that state and they understand the why behind things. They start looking at data, making decisions. They, realize that it's like, I actually can be way better than I thought I could be, right? Because I put in the daily results. What you do in the dark comes to light, right? And so, but then the other part of it is too, it's like, if you hold such a high standard for yourself, you have to be careful that when you try to hold other people to the same level of standard, it takes time to get them to that standard. Right? We expect results overnight sometimes. That's just how it is, right? Like for me, I know I'm going to go do the job right away, right? I hate procrastinating, right? But if I ask somebody else to like get something done and it's been a week and it's not been done, it's like inside it's killing you.
Yeah.
Because you would have just done it right away.
True.
Right? And so I feel like we're dealing with a generation that sometimes does procrastinate more than they should. We call it, like, even with COVID, right? It's people were working from home. They don't have to go to work every single day, right? Like even in a certain degree, we can say it's a detrimental to maybe form some laziness also, right? But now that COVID's done, now people have to go, like a dealership, you got to be at work every single day, right? So now we're combating people. It's like, well, why should I go to work at a dealership when I can go work a hybrid job? Right? Because hybrid jobs is still a thing to some companies. Right? Now we're trying to reverse hybrid. Right? It's like, we don't need to be hybrid anymore, guys. Like collaboration happens more in person than it does over a hybrid format, right?
Agreed.
So it's like that can be tough sometimes. It's like trying to overcome those adversities where it's like people, why can't I just do hybrid? Or, why can't I just get it done a week later? Right? And so you have to be careful. Like, yes, it's important to hold people to a standard, but you have to grow the standard over time. You can't expect them to be just like you overnight. It's not possible.
Throughout your whole career, what would you say was the one lesson that you stick to? That's the reason I am Sunny, the GM of St. James. Like, what's the lesson that you hold close to your heart?
I think one thing I actually hold very, very close is there's a saying, you're either moving forwards or backwards. You're never standing still.
True.
So a lot of times when we think we're cruising, you're actually probably moving backwards.
Yeah.
People that cruise in life thinking that it's like, I'm good where I'm at, right? Everyone else is actually going ahead of you at that point in time. And so like why I was able to move up constantly is because I thought about that, right? It's like if I were just okay being a sales manager forever, or if I want to just be a GSM forever, that's probably my mindset actually degrading at that point, because my aspirations have stopped, right? And my minimum standard hasn't changed, right? So you're only as good as your minimum standards, right? Your greatest aspirations are your minimum standards. You have to keep changing your minimum standard, right? Same thing with like a bank account, right? Like if you're used to just having $1,000 in your account, in your checkings account all the time, and you're happy with that, then you're happy with that, and it's never gonna, and then you're not gonna go past that, right? But if it's like, hey, I know one day now I want to have 10,000, then one day I want to have 100,000, right? Like you will continue to elevate past that, right? Because you're changing with your minimum standard, right? And so that's why that's tied to you're either moving forwards or backwards in life, never standing still.